Welcome back to the Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into ACIM, specifically Lesson 20. Let's unpack exactly what this step requires of us and how it's going to shift things moving forward.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is the core mantra for today. I am determined to see. It's only 5 words, right? But the weight and the intention behind this single sentence are absolutely massive. The text isn't talking about physical eyesight here. It's talking about your spiritual and mental vision. It's about actively choosing to perceive the world, your relationships, and yourself through a completely different lens. By making this statement, you're essentially drawing a line in the sand. You're declaring that you are no longer willing to accept the confusing, often painful way you usually look at things. You want clarity, and you are determined to have it.
Now, you might have noticed a shift happening here. Up until now, through lessons 1 to 19, the practice periods have been pretty laid back, very casual, with minimal effort required. And the text points out that this was entirely intentional. Why? Well, because if you felt forced into this right out of the gate, you'd probably just build up resentment. I mean, nobody likes feeling coerced, so that gentle start was carefully planned. But today, with Lesson 20, we're making a pivot. We're moving from that casual, almost passive approach into something that is highly structured and deeply intentional.
And this subtle shift has a massive ultimate goal. The source text states something that sounds incredibly grand. The salvation of the world depends on it. It reminds us that we haven't lost sight of the main objective here, which is the complete reversal of your thinking. That's literally what this entire process is about, a complete 180-degree turn in how your mind operates. When you flip your mindset from fear to love, from judgment to peace, you aren't just giving yourself a better day, you're actually participating in the salvation of how the entire world is experienced. It's a monumental goal, but it relies completely on your gentle, daily willingness to practice.
Since we are introducing structure today, the text offers this really reassuring clarification. It says, do not misconstrue it as an effort to exert force or pressure. This is so crucial. Let's be honest, when we hear the word structure or discipline, it kind of sounds like punishment or rigid rules. But the text grounds us right back in our actual desires. You want salvation. You want to be happy. You want peace. This new structure, it's simply the supportive scaffolding you need to help build that happiness. It's a highly effective tool for your benefit, definitely not a weapon against your freedom.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why we need that structure right now. The text bluntly points out that you don't have true peace and happiness at the moment because your mind is totally undisciplined. And because it lacks discipline, it creates terrible confusions. An undisciplined mind literally cannot tell the difference between joy and sorrow, between pleasure and pain, or between love and fear. Think about how often we chase things we assume will bring us pleasure, only to find they bring us pain, or how we mistake fearful attachments for actual love. This lesson and the structure it brings is going to teach you how to finally untangle that mess and tell them apart. And as the text promises, great indeed will be your reward.
So how exactly do we achieve this incredible reward? The source gives us this beautiful, comforting assurance. Your decision to see is all that vision requires. That is so profound. You don't need to force the vision to appear out of thin air. You don't need to figure out the complex mechanics of the universe. What you want is yours. Simply by cultivating that deep, sincere determination to see clearly, the vision is literally given to you. That internal shift in your desire is the exact magnet that pulls true vision right into your awareness.
Now, because the actual physical effort required of you today is so incredibly small, just repeating a simple phrase, the text warns against a very common mental trap. It says, do not mistake the little effort that is asked of you for a sign that our goal is of little worth. It poses a rhetorical question to get us thinking. Can the salvation of the world be a trivial purpose? Of course not. The magnitude of the result, which is total peace and salvation, is absolutely vast, even if the daily practice itself feels like a tiny, simple little step.
There's also a really fascinating bit of psychology behind the practice itself. The text explains that reminding yourself you want to see carries a hidden, tacit implication. When you say, I am determined to see, you are simultaneously admitting with a lot of humility that you don't truly see right now. You're acknowledging your current blindness. So as you gently repeat the idea today, you're making this powerful internal declaration. You are stating that you are absolutely determined to change your present confused state for a much better one.
So the crucial point is exactly how we execute this new structure today. Here are your specific parameters straight from the source text. Your exercise consists of reminding yourself throughout the entire day that you want to see. You need to repeat today's idea, I am determined to see, slowly and positively. You aren't just rushing through it to check a box off a list. And as for frequency, you are to do this at least twice an hour today.
So ideally, you're attempting to pause and repeat this idea every half hour. That sets a regular, consistent rhythm for your mind.
Now, I know exactly what you're probably thinking. What happens when I inevitably get super busy and totally forget? Or what if my Wi-Fi drops during an important call and I completely lose my cool? The text anticipates this perfectly. It specifically instructs, do not be distressed if you forget to do so. Beating yourself up completely defeats the whole purpose of a lesson meant to bring you peace. So instead of getting distressed, just make a real, honest effort to remember from that point forward. Be gentle with yourself, but stay committed to the structure. In fact, when those upsets do happen, when someone cuts you off in traffic or a frustrating email hits your inbox, that is actually your greatest opportunity for the practice. The text instructs you to apply extra repetitions to any specific situation, person, or event that upsets you. In that very moment of anger or fear, pause and say the phrase. Because, as the text boldly claims, you can see them differently, and you will. You are literally using the friction of your daily life as the absolute best fuel for your own mental clarity.
And this brings us to a foundational metaphysical principle outlined in today's reading. The text states, "What you desire, you will see." Such is the real law of cause and effect as it operates in the world. Think deeply about that for a second. We usually assume the world acts upon us. An event happens, that's the cause, and our reaction is the effect. But this lesson reverses that entirely. Your deep internal desire is the actual cause, and what you end up seeing and experiencing in the world is the effect. If you truly desire to see peace, the law of cause and effect guarantees that peace is exactly what you are going to see.
And so we return right back to our anchor for today. I am determined to see. Let this phrase echo in your mind. Write it on a sticky note. Set a recurring alarm on your phone. Whatever you need to do to support this new habit. This single sentence is your master key to unlocking that undisciplined mind, untangling the confusion between pain and pleasure, and stepping fully out of fear and into true vision.
To wrap up today's explainer, let's quickly review your practice summary. You're carrying this idea with you throughout the entire day. Your target frequency is twice an hour, so roughly every 30 minutes. Repeat it slowly, positively, and remember to apply extra repetitions directly to anything that upsets your peace. If you found this breakdown helpful, please don't forget to like this explainer and subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive. As you go about your day, I'll leave you with this one question to ponder. When the inevitable frustrations of life bubble up today, what will you choose to see differently? Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.